Yeah,
And
because number one, they have to make a notice of appearance.
right, which they'll have the notice of appearance, but what they doesn't get is from the court to allow them to terminate the first law firm to terminate representation, and then the
Right.
next law firm to proceed as the counsel. And just for some other record keeping, if you go down in here, we know the man who owned the property before me is Michael Wire. You don't see Mr. Wire's name on this list. So,
They got a lot of improper stuff being done.
and this is the firm that actually one time had the cases. So I just wanted to make sure I made these things kind of clear to people. And again, without, I think that the bigger issue from where I'm standing is that I believe that more people were affected. And sometimes we become apathetic with issues until they hit us. But um, I just think that, you don't want to wait to the last minute for this to happen to somebody else, particularly somebody else you may care about. But as you see here, they're saying he's with this firm. He's supposedly the lead attorney. But the funny part is, and again, I don't know how that works, but they end up getting a default judgment along the way, and the default judgment, uh, this motion to set aside, came from the default judgment. They're saying what the prior attorney didn't do properly as far as the representation. They took the money and what have you, and so the court went through the process. But here's something that I think people might find kind of interesting. And again, if you're not, I know people might, it might go over some people's heads, but I would say anybody who sees this to go through your, uh, anybody who knows anybody who had a foreclosure, particularly if you had a property that you got through an HOA or what have you, or especially during that 2008 to 2010 period, make sure you go back and check out the paperwork to make sure everything was done properly, because some people may have walked away from properties that they may have been still, they still may have had an entitlement to. And where they say Spinnaker filed this objection, I want to show y'all what Spinnaker filed, because one thing that Spinnaker asked them to do was to produce a um, proof that the bank that was foreclosing had the right to the property. Now, that's just them sitting there. Sorry, I gotta find this thing. And I do apologize. I looked it up last night and I was looking at some of this stuff. I'm like, dang, I forgot about a little bit of this stuff over time. But what I didn't forget about was that the judge, and here's the next you may find kind of interesting. And I was always wondering why Judge Holder was so interested in the outcome of this case. Here's the writ of possession saying that they served Michael Wire, but Michael Wire was in possession of the property. At the time that this was happening, I was in possession of the property because they walked me off the property. They came almost six sheriffs deep, and in their telling me that they're taking me out of uh the property or off the property. This is what they posted, and I even showed them and said, "Hey, listen, I own this property now," and I showed them proof of ownership, the same thing that I showed you all, and they still got rid of me. And for those who wanted to see, which makes this all the more interesting, is look who the judge was that signed the um, writ of possession. I want to show y'all something else.